Matt Genrich says that the workforce is being reorganized to maximize output with the employees available.
Volkswagen is probably the Eastern Cape's most important company, employing 4,000 workers and creating thousands of other jobs in the motor industry. It has been crippled for 2 weeks by an internal dispute within NUMSA, which suspended 13 shop stewards at the company. Volkswagen gave workers striking in support of the suspended shop stewards until today to return to work. 25% of workers on the early shifts failed to turn up this morning. A number of other workers suspected of intimidation and other illegal acts were served with letters suspending them from work when they arrived.
What time does the first shift start?
Production is being reorganized to maximize output until new employees are recruited. The supporters of the suspended shop stewards, who collectively call themselves the Uitenhage Workers Crisis Committee, met outside the plant. They said they would only return to work if NUMSA withdrew its charges against the shop stewards, and independent mediation followed. However, as far as the company is concerned, there is no longer a strike and the workers fired themselves by not coming to work. The Crisis Committee accused the media of being biased in its reporting of the strike and said it would no longer be allowed at its meetings. More people attended today's Workers' Crisis Committee meeting than any of the previous meetings held since the strike has begun. The committee said that rather than ask its members to return back to work, it would ask other NUMSA members in other motor industry-related factories in the region to join the strike. Mike Proctor-Sims, SABC, Uitenhage.
About 100 mine workers affiliated to the National Union of Metalworkers of South Africa downed tools this morning at Rustenburg base metal refiners in the Northwest Province. They've accused management of dividing workers at the Amplats refinery by paying out incentive bonuses to non-strikers. Amplat spokesperson Johan Adler has denied the allegations. The strikers say they will continue until their demand of a 10% wage increase is met. Management has made a final offer of 8%.
Even though the strike is legal, there is a heavy security presence inside and outside the mine compound. Management's explanation for this is that they have to protect other workers and mine property in case something goes wrong. The mine workers have been toy-toying and chanting liberation slogans since 7 o'clock this morning. They say they will keep this up for as long as it takes.
If the management is not prepared to meet our demand, we are not prepared also to compromise the workers' demands as well.
However, management are not prepared to back down from the 8% wage increase offer. The mine's spokesperson, Mike Mtakati, says 8% is the final offer. He claims that production will not be affected in any way by the strike, even if it is protracted. Kopano Ramekwa, SABC, Amplats in Rustenburg.
4 public sector unions say support for the ANC in the local government elections may be affected if their demands are not met. The 4 unions, Nehawu, Popcrew, SAMWU and SATU, are all affiliated to the Congress of South African Trade Unions. COSATU affiliates have since Monday protested against job losses in the country. Both the South African Clothing and Textile Workers Union and NUMSA organized pickets today.
COSATU leadership have blamed government plans like EGOLI 2002 and the personal expenditure review for job losses. They say the public sector has lost more than 170,000 jobs in 4 years. Union leadership said this action was not in line with the Reconstruction and Development Program.
EGOLI 2002 should not be implemented until the proposed structures are changed to ensure that utilities remain accountable to the council, permit community participation, and will extend services to historically underserved communities.
Workers from public sector unions today picketed outside the offices of the Department of Labour. The protesters handed over a memorandum outlining their concerns over job losses to the department officials.
The overall demands that we're presenting, in particular on local government, are meant to enhance our ability to campaign for the local government elections. But if they are not addressed, they will definitely affect our ability to effectively campaign for a successful victory during the coming elections.
In Durban, COSATU officials prevented a confrontation between police and SATU and NUMSA members. The protesters who gathered at Durban Harbour demanded to search vehicles for illegal goods. COSATU-affiliated unions also held protest marches in Cape Town as well as in Witbank and Middelburg. Musa Stole, SABC, Johannesburg.
Parliament officially opens tomorrow with a State of the Nation address by President Thabo Mbeki.
The speeding up of the delivery of essential services and the alleviation of poverty, especially in rural areas, are expected to form the crux of Mbeki's message. Mkokeli Tanda and Sophie Mokwenya compiled this report.
Preparations for tomorrow's grand opening of Parliament are underway. For the first time since his retirement, former President Nelson Mandela will be joined by a host of figures from the world of arts and entertainment. It's more than 6 months since President Mbeki took over the reins of power. Since then, several key pieces of legislation have been passed, but observers expect no major new policy announcements. The president's speech is expected to center around the implementation of legislation and socio-economic development projects, including agriculture. Mr. Mbeki is also expected to outline a multidisciplinary approach to fight crime, and more details are expected on the government's initiative to lure direct foreign investment that could create jobs. Mbeki could also put emphasis on the promotion of small and medium enterprises to empower the previously disadvantaged sectors of society. Mr. Mbeki's speech might also touch on the deployment of troubleshooters in government sectors and at schools to monitor indisciplined elements. On the international front, South Africa's future role in Africa and a more proactive approach to the global economy are also expected. Civil society and business will once again be reminded that the goal of transforming South Africa is not governments alone. Mkokeli Tanda, SABC, Parliament.
Thousands of matriculants are pinning their hopes on further studies at tertiary institutions in the country. While some find the money to achieve this goal, others are denied the opportunity because of a lack of funds.
It's tough times as tertiary institutions prepare to open their doors. Before classes open, it's estimated that institutions will be owed nearly 700 million rand by their students. It means bursaries are in short supply and more people are looking to private business like Global Resort South Africa to pay for their education. With the encouragement of former President Nelson Mandela, the company has parted with R500,000 rand to give poorer students a chance.
I must congratulate the private sector for the excellent work they are doing. Hardly any one of them has ever said no. Especially now that I'm a pensioner. Nobody has the courage to say no. Yeah. Good.
The money will add to the estimated 6.2 billion rand that the government plans to give universities and technicons this year. But will this be enough?
While government has in the last few years been increasing the allocation for student financial aid, it's not sufficient by any means. So we have a broader problem of students coming into the system not always being able to meet their financial commitments.
Finance Minister Trevor Manuel will finalize government's education expenditure in his budget speech later this month. Faith Daniels, SABC, Johannesburg.
The Archbishop of Canterbury, Dr. George Leonard Carey, paid a visit today to children infected with HIV at the William Clark Gardens and Otandweni AIDS Special Care Unit in Durban. The Archbishop is on a week-long visit to Southern Africa.
9-year-old Slindile is at home at the William Clark Gardens, where she plays with her friends and sometimes takes care of their needs.
I help the small ones when they are crying. I carry them. I play with them toys. I take the toy that is crying and I go like that and the baby laughs.
Slindile and her friends were abandoned at birth and are in the last stages of HIV. Last year, 10 children from this unit lost their lives through AIDS. The AIDS pandemic is a great concern to the visiting Archbishop of Canterbury.
It is possible that before very long, 1/3 of the entire population of South Africa may be infected in one way or another. So no society can actually be complacent about that.
Special care is expensive, and this unit has recently expanded its facilities.
To look after one single child will cost us around about 1,500 to 1,800 per child per month. And the money that we get from the government doesn't cover even half of the cost that we need.
Like Slindile, there are 35 other children with HIV in this unit. 14 of them are terminally ill. All they are asking for is to spend their last days in dignity. Hopes are high that the Archbishop's visit will bring some relief. Ismail Sadek Jina, SABC, in Durban.
Now for a look into the world of sports. The South African Football Association today announced the names of the national under-23 soccer team ahead of their friendly game against Angola this Saturday.
The announcement comes a month before the team kickstart their final Olympic qualifiers against Cameroon and Ghana.
The Amaglugglug team, who come from a well-deserved rest after their showing in the All-Africa Games late last year, will be looking to take the form they showed during the tournament with them as they embark on their Olympic debut. According to team coach Shakes Mashaba, the warm-up match against Angola over the weekend will prove useful to begin fine-tuning the team ahead of their Olympic qualifier game against Cameroon.
It's all about the qualifiers first. The hurdle that we still have to jump. You know, we still have to play Cameroon twice. If a win comes, we snatch it. So I can see our way to Sydney, but it's going to be a tough one. It won't be an easy one, really.
But tempers soon flared, causing the meeting to come to a brisk end. SAFA CEO Raymond Heck threw the spanner into the works when he commented on the fact that Angola, who've been preparing for the game for a whole month, would cause no threat to the South African team, who've only been in camp for a couple of days.
We take every game seriously and we are aware of it, but by saying that they've been here for a month and we've only been in camp for 1 week, we're certainly not undermining them.
The Amaglugglug will play the visiting Angolan side at the Orlando Stadium at 3 p.m. this Saturday. Thabiso Sitole, SABC, Johannesburg.
And more soccer news. Nigeria cruised to an easy victory in their match against Morocco earlier this evening. They beat Morocco by 2-0, ensuring a place in the quarterfinals of the African Cup of Nations, where they expected to meet Senegal.
And it's on that note that we say a very good night to you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Get to Furniture City for the Big City Beyond 2000 sale. This Tuscany 3-piece lounge suite is yours for only $2,999. You save 1,500 Rand. You also get up to 36 months to pay with no deposit required.
There's so much more to see in the city, Furniture City.
Hello, Guardian Direct. Absolutely reliable. We're a subsidiary of Guardian National.
That's right. Your claims are registered by phone and are settled promptly.
And repairs at an approved garage in your area with all work guaranteed.
We can insure your household contents for the replacement value.
There is a discount for an armed response. And the valuation of your household possessions is free.
You're insured. One call, no forms, no fuss. Call 0860 282820. Guardian 0860 282820.
Woke up this morning with a song in my head. I couldn't wait to get out of bed. I had some coffee, watched the news on TV. I was pressed for time, but I made it okay. Got a call, it was an old friend. Got another, was a new girlfriend. I said out for a movie or in with TV. She said let's stay in for DVD. The lady came around, we made some food. I switched on the music and I turned up the mood. We played some CDs, then we made our road. Now the day is over and things went my way. What did you do with your feelings today?
Behind the camera, in front of the camera, on Screenplay, coming up on 3.